Good morning, students. Okay, today you can go for the other display terminals. In the previous class, we learn about the CRT structure and its working. CRT means cathode ray tube. Okay, for getting the display on the phosphorus coated screen. Okay, in that one I have explained already. It contains pins. These pins are inserted into the plug or we provide the electrical supply. Okay. Next, this one is the heater. And next, this heater, when you supply voltage through these pins, okay, heater will get heated and electrons will be generated. So these electrons are negatively charged particles. A collection of electrons is called cathode ray. So, and also a cathode is provided here. So this cathode deflect the electrons and it will make the electrons to move in a particular direction. And also the grid, here we are providing grid. This grid contains an opening here and also this grid allows these electrons through a small passage provided to the grid. Okay, then here we have pre-accelerating anode. Anode means positively charged electrode. It will accelerate attract the electrons coming from the grid. Okay, accelerate. Then another one is focusing anode. This anode will do the focusing of electron beams. Okay, in a single direction. Next, this another accelerating anode here we have. This another accelerating anode also try to increase the velocity of the this electron beam. So next, vertical deflection plates and horizontal deflection plates. Vertical and horizontal deflection plates make the electron beam move in a specified direction so that we will get the strike on the phosphorus coating wherever we required, and we can trace this electron around the phosphorus screen to get what we draw, either letters, numbers or images. Okay, so for that purpose, vertical and horizontal deflection plates are served. Okay, right. This is about the internal structure of the CRT tube. And here I have written electron gun. What is meant by electron gun? Or what are the components within the electron gun? Here we have this, in this one main heater, cathode and grid and other things. Pre-accelerating anode, focusing anode, okay, accelerating anode. So these consist of electron gun. These are consists of electron gun. Okay. Next we can move to the another line diagram of this CRT or cathode ray tube. Line diagram we have to move. This is the line diagram of the cathode ray tube. So this one same pins. Next one is this one is what I have told before. This one is a electron releasing heater. Next one, this one is okay, heating element and also cathode and grid, and it has opening, focusing anode, accelerating anode. Next, vertical deflection plates, horizontal deflection plate, and this is the electron beam. It will strike the phosphorus coating behind the screen, coated behind the screen at a particular location, and we can trace this beam across the phosphorus coating screen according to our instructions given from the computer. Okay, to get letters, numbers, images and other things. Okay, this is the line diagram of the what is called CRT, cathode ray tube. Next one is another display device or display terminal is plasma panel. Plasma panel. Okay, so it is a flat type display device and it consists of neon gas. It consists of a neon. Sorry. it consists of a neon gas in a glass envelope. In a glass envelope, it is a neon gas with the electrodes 4 and up to display the image. So with the electrode 4 and up to display the image. So this plasma panel is very small and it consumes a lot of power, and also its resolution may not be high. But it is a portable one. You can handle it, easily. So right, this is about the plasma panel. Again, I am telling that it has a neon gas enclosed within a glass envelope, and it consists of electrodes 4 and up, and to display the image. Though they are small and flat, they consume a large amount of electrical power, but the resolution may not be very good. Right. Next one is output devices. We can't. So before that one, we have to go for the storage devices. Then after this we can move to the output devices. First one is storage devices. So here I have given the different storage devices. First one is a floppy disk. Next one is the Winchester disks. Next one magnetic tape carriage is compact disk, ROMs. You may in this lecture I won't deal with these things. I will deal with floppy disk, Winchester disk, and magnetic tape. These 3 storage devices we can learn here. Right. So go for the floppy disk. Go for the floppy disk. I think most of you may not hear about the floppy disk. In my age, while I am in BTech, I was using floppy disk as the storage medium. But nowadays, we are using pen drives or other external hard disk and external hard disk like that. But now we are using the floppy disk as the storage medium, temporary storage medium or backup. We are not using. Anyway, this is the basic storage medium for storing the data within a memory provided in the form of binary code within the disk floppy disk. So what is the construction of this floppy disk? So the floppy disk may be like this. You may know or you may not know the floppy disk. It is appear like a square shape. That is what I have written here. It consists of a storage disk, which is next one is it is permanently enclosed in a square cover, and that means here we have a square cover. Within that cover we will provide a storage disk which is magnetically coated. That means within this is a square envelope. Within this will provided magnetically coated storage disk on both sides. So that storage disk we are inserting within the square envelope, and it is magnetically coated on both sides, front and back. Next it rotates at very high speeds. That disk, suppose if it is the a disk, magnetically coated disk, it rotates with high speed. I think it may not be like this. It may be a smaller one also. It may be something right. And it is rotated at a high speed, very high speed, and the read and write head moves radially to read or write. Any data common randomly from any location. That means, suppose if you want to read the data, from the storage, this rotating disk, read the data. The disk will be rotated at a very high speed. It contains heads, read and write heads. These read and write heads moves radially to read, or they moves radially. So radially means from center to in this direction, like this. Down these directions it will move. Right. So, okay, it will move like this. It will move like this. Okay, right. Radially, these heads move radially, and they will read the data or write the data at a particular location. Next, the disk is divided into concentric rings called tracks. Concentric, the disk. What is the disk? Disk is magnetically coated storage disk. That is divided into concentric rings called tracks. Concentric means single center, and tracks. The tracks on the disk are like this. The tracks on the disk are like this. Okay, that is what here it has been called tracks. They are usually specified. Okay, in tracks per inch, like 48 tracks per inch or 96 tracks per inch radially. Radially, while we are moving from here to this place, how many tracks are there? There may be 48 TPI or 96 TPI. That means 48 tracks per inch or 96 track per inch. Okay, along the radial direction. Along the radial direction. Next one is these tracks are further subdivided into radial sectors. Each sector can store information about 250 bytes. These are called radial sectors. How we will divide the tracks into radial sectors? Here we know that radially we will have different tracks, and here radially we have different tracks. So this is the radial sector, and it consists of tracks like this. Okay, right. Each sector, this sector, okay, can store information about 250 bytes. 250 bytes. Okay, you know that 1 byte is equal to, okay, how many bits? Okay, that you should know. Right. So this is this one. This is the radial sector. This is the radial sector. Okay. Right. Next we can go for the next. This is floppy disk is over. Next one is Winchester disk. Winchester disk. Right. So what is Winchester disk? So in the floppy disk we will have only one magnetically coated disk. But in the case of Winchester disk, we will have multiple disks. They are located centrally using a code. So that what he has given. So look at this one. The Winchester disk is a thin rigid metal disk. Not disk SLI special. Okay, Winchester disk is singular. It has a thin rigid metal disk, on both sides of which the magnetic medium is coated. Magnetic medium. So similar to the floppy disk, here also we have another disk, magnetically coated disk, that is coated on both sides. That is a thin metallic disk. Next, several such hard disks are put together okay, and aligned on a central shaft disk pack. Aligned on a central shaft disk pack. They are disk pack. Like this, we'll arrange all the such hard disks. Okay, right. Separate read and write. So next, we have the construction. Then how to read the data, how to write the data. So for there are so many disks. Each disk contains its own read and write head. Each disk contains its own read and write head for which the disks are permanently aligned. That means each disk has permanently the read and write heads, and then the disk is sealed. The disk is sealed. That means they are packed in a single pack and they are sealed. Though there are many more than one head at any given time, only one head would be accessing the disk for the data input and the output. So you may ask the question, when you want to read the data from this Winchester disk, how much data we can retrieve, or which data, how to read that data. So here we have so many heads, read heads and write heads. Okay, read heads and write heads. But even though we have multiple read heads and write heads, among the all these hard disk, we have to read one disk and one we have to use one read and write head that will be accessible, okay, as the disk for data input or output. This is a largest. At the same time, single profit, if you consider profit, there is a limit for that one. We can store only some amount, only less amount data we can store within the one. But here we have multiple read and write heads and multiple metallic disks. So we can store the large amount of data within this large. So that is what called a large storage capacity. It has and has been extensively used because of low access time. And properties are features are low accessing time, features are low access time, and low cost and compact in size. A simple hard disk is compact in size and it is low cost, and accessing time is low for this one. The disk is fixed in the drive, therefore the storage space is fixed to the capacity by the drive. Okay, that means this disk is stored within the drive. After that one, okay, drive. Therefore, the storage is fixed. The storage is fixed to the capacity by the drive. Okay, right? So this is about Winchester disk, or simply a hard disk. Multiple hard disks packed in a sealed container with on a core, and packed in a core, such that we can store large amount of data, and also we can retrieve the data from the this Winchester disk. Next one, magnetic tapes. Magnetic. So floppy disk is coated with magnetical elements on both sides, and also what is called hard disk also. It contains so many magnetically coated metallic disks. Here magnetic tapes. Now, so we left that disk. Now we go for the tapes. This is also we can learn now here. The greatest limitation of the magnetic tape is the serial nature of the storage. Serial nature of the storage. This is the limitation. That means first, if you enter a data into the magnetic tape, and then next data can be entered. After that one, next data entered. After that one. So in that serial manner, the data is stored on the magnetic tape. But now, okay, that is the main limitation, because there is a flexibility store at different locations within the disk. Okay, that means random storage. If it is there and random access is possible, that is good for us. But here only serial storage nature of the magnetic tape. That is limitation. You can't store the data randomly on magnetic tape. Okay. Next one. As a result of the serial storage, the magnetic tape is used only for data exchange or backup, as a large amount of storage is possible. Hence, here also we can store the large amount of data, but the magnetic tape is used only for data exchange or backups, but not for the processing. We can't use the data by using this one. We can only use it for this one for backup. Okay, next one is a typical storage density is, that means its capacity is 6250 bits per inch in 9 drives. Okay, this is the typical storage unit, not for all the magnetic tapes. Next one is a 10.5 inch read can store about 180 megabytes of the data. That is the statistics about this magnetic tape. Next, magnetic cartridges. Okay, these are essentially used as a backup medium for taking the periodical backup from the hard disk. Right. So magnetic tapes and magnetic cartridge both are used for backup purpose. Okay, right. So these are the storage devices what we have learned. The first one is floppy disk. The second one is Winchester disk, next one magnetics and magnetic catalysis. Okay. Some more story mediums are also there. We can deal whenever they come. Okay, coming to the picture in the syllabus, so we can deal those things also. These are the basic things. Okay, next one is right. This is the you know that CRT construction. Next one is this is the this monitor. It contains a screen, and here we have a single electron gun, and it will trace on the screen so that we can draw a single line like this and multiple lines, and multiple line storage tracing, and we can draw letters like this. Okay, by using letters like this, by using this one, and right here he has drawn a triangle. Here he has drawn a triangle completely here. Okay, this we can learn when for image generation techniques. There are two types of image generation techniques. One is random. Okay, one is random scan technique. Random scan technique. One is random scan technique. Second one is raster scan technique. Another one is raster scan technique. Both the things you should learn. These are image generation techniques. Image generation techniques on the CRT tube. Image generation techniques. Techniques on CRT. On CRT. Cathode ray tube. There are two types. One is random scan image generation. Next one is raster scan image generation techniques. Here simple one example here it has given. Okay, next slide cannot be here. Right. So far we have only one electron gun. Okay, for a cathode tube we have discussed. So if there is only one electron gun, then we will have the only black and white display. Suppose if you want color display on the CRT screen, okay, then we require at least electron guns. 3 electron guns we will have. One is these 3 electron guns are provided with some voltage source, and one is for blue color, and another one is for red color, and another one is for green color. Each electron gun releases its own blue color electron beam, and green color electron beam, and next red color electron beam. These 3 electron guns release 3 different colored electron beams. And this one is the shadow mask, section of the shadow mask. Okay, section of the shadow mask. Okay, so the generated 3 colored electron beams. That means here their intensity is varying from blue to green, green to red, and red to blue. Okay, right. So here intensity variation occurs. Right. 3 electron guns we have. Right. Okay. When these 3 colored electron beams strike at a point, what is called at this location, the triangular fashion. Triangular. That means it is here. That is the magnified view. One is red colored beam, another one is blue colored, another one is green colored. But these 3 combination, this circle is very less diameter. Okay, that is we can call it as a pixel or picture element, a small element on the screen. Okay, when these 3 electron beams, okay, strike at a particular picture element, very small element, on the magnified phosphor dot triangle we will have, okay. So as there is this red color will influence the blue color will influence green, green color will influence the blue, and combination of all these three colors we will get different colors. And we can have light red. So if you vary the red color intensity and blue color intensity and green color intensity, so their combination, different intensity of these three colors will give the different colors. So for that purpose we can use the shadow mask device like this. This is called shadow mask device, and also it consists of 3 electron guns BGR, and this shadow mask, it has openings. These 3 electron beams are registered in such a way that they are passing through a single beam, then they will strike the CRT screen at a particular location, and depending upon the red, blue and green intensities, they will colored intensities, we will get different colors. Okay, right. This is the working of how to get the colored image on the CRT screen. So far we have learned about some output devices, then working of CRT tube once again for a single black and white one. Next we have this one colored image, how we will get by using 3 electron guns in a CRT tube. We have learned up to here. Okay, so this is the conclusion for this class, and next topics will continue in the next session. So thank you very much.